Last week, we covered all the nitty-gritty details of shooting Astro vlogs on those perfectly dark nights, from the gear setup to nailing the comet exposure. If you missed that first deep dive, you should absolutely go watch it right now because the truth is, you cannot polish a turd. Seriously, if your framing and base exposure are completely trashed, no amount of post-production wizardry will magically save it. This harsh reality applies to both your still photography and your moving pictures. Once you've locked in that perfect capture with solid composition and exposure, that's when you can finally start getting creative in post-production. In this episode, I'm going to show you the exact process for turning those raw, flat, and super dark original clips into genuinely watchable YouTube footage. Plus, I'll reveal how I repurpose all that same footage into shorts and social clips without spending weeks feeling chained to my editor. Spoiler alert, I still rely on DaVinci Resolve for my main color work, but a tool called Vizard is what makes turning one long vlog into dozens of polished social bites actually sane. As a quick recap of the shoot, we had one incredible night on the west side, where the Milky Way and the comet were absolutely putting on a show. Then, 2 nights later, the forecast cleared up again, so a few friends and I headed out to the northwest corner of the island. That second night was truly extreme low light, pushing the ISO into the high tens of thousands just to capture both celestial features. We managed to get some on-camera talk, a little behind-the-scenes goofing off, and of course, plenty of long exposures to capture all that delicate star detail. If you caught last week's video, you already know the specific camera settings we chose for these challenging conditions. If you didn't, the short version, the TLDR, is simply to get your baseline exposure and composition locked in perfectly first. Moving on to the editing bay, I remain a dedicated DaVinci Resolve user for color grading because it offers the best tonal control and raw LUT workflows I've ever experienced. However, Resolve isn't as efficient when it comes to chopping a long-form video into snackable clips, scheduling posts, or automatically finding those key viral moments. This is precisely why I pair Resolve with the power of Vizard. I handle the heavy grading and noise reduction in Resolve, export a few graded masters, and then let Vizard automatically find the best moments, create vertical and square edits, and schedule everything across my social channels. This combination truly gives me the best of both worlds for my content pipeline. The absolute first step in any color grading session is converting your camera's flat profile into the final output color space you intend to use. Since I shot most of this footage in S-Log3 with sgamut3.cine, the initial exported clip looks predictably flat and quite gray. You need to insert a color space transform node right after your input node, so everything you adjust lives in your working space before cleanly converting to sRGB for YouTube delivery. Making that small node adjustment saves you significant headaches down the line because the resulting gamma and gamut accurately match what YouTube's viewing environment expects. Once the clip successfully enters the sRGB space, it will inevitably look a bit darker, which is completely normal at this stage. Now, head over to the HDR wheels and gently bump up the overall exposure to bring back some important mid-tone detail. Make sure you do not crush your highlights so the Milky Way retains detail without your skin blowing out. Next, use the primary controls to tame highlights if needed. Lift the shadows only a little bit, because lifting them too much brings out a ton of noise from the high ISO. Add a measured saturation boost to reintroduce some warmth from the night's atmosphere. That night had a slightly orange sky from distant sodium lights, and I intentionally lean into that for mood. Curves are your crucial friend for dialing in the final contrast profile. I apply a very subtle S-curve to the tone curve for depth. This involves pulling the shadows down a mere fraction. Simultaneously, lift the darkest blacks just a tiny tad to avoid a crushed look. This contrast adjustment gives image depth without destroying the visible stars. After the grade is locked, the next critical step is noise reduction. This is a stage where many colorists and editors get completely stuck in the weeds. Resolve offers both temporal and spatial noise reduction algorithms. While temporal noise reduction can be fantastic, it unfortunately carries the risk of introducing noticeable ghosting effects if there is any subject movement in the frame. The spatial modes range from fast processing to the ultra setting, and the temptation is always to choose ultra because it promises the absolute cleanest image possible. The problem is that ultra tends to over-soften all your fine details, waving goodbye to those beautiful pinpoint stars while also absolutely crushing your CPU or render farm for days on end. My personal sweet spot ends up being the better setting, where I carefully tweak the threshold and radius up to about 70 or 80%, depending on how dark the specific clip is. This setting effectively cleans the objectionable grain enough to look excellent on YouTube without turning the entire scene into an unrecognizable mush. Yes, you will lose a tiny bit of sharpness, but for narrative-driven vlogs, that trade-off is absolutely worth it, because viewers prioritize story and vibe over perfect pixel-level noise control. Now for the workflow trick that has saved me countless production hours. Copy those exact color and NR nodes across all of your talking head clips and most of the B-roll footage. You'll still need to tweak per clip. A dancer or a campfire might require slightly lower exposure or different shadow handling, but most of the heavy lifting is done at this point. This manual copy-paste approach is perfectly fine for establishing your base footage look, but if you want to squeeze every last bit of repurposable content out of a long vlog, that's when Vizard becomes essential. To be clear, Vizard is not intended to replace Resolve. Rather, it perfectly complements it. Just think about this scenario. You spend an entire evening capturing stunning cinematic Milky Way footage alongside a 25-minute behind-the-scenes vlog. You need to upload the full episode to YouTube, but you also want 10 clips for Instagram, 6 vertical cuts for TikTok, and a few 30-second highlights to pin on Twitter. And a few. Manually cutting all of those different aspect ratios, reframing every shot, adding custom captions and timestamps, and then scheduling them all feels like a full week of tedious work. Vizard steps in to automate all of those boring, repetitive parts of the workflow. You feed it the long video file. I typically use the graded masters, or at least the color-corrected exports. And the AI scans for attention spikes like big moments, audio peaks, laughter, and interesting visual changes to auto-generate snackable clips. Better yet, it even optimizes the aspect ratios specifically for each target platform automatically. This single automated process alone reduces my total repurposing time from many hours down to just a few minutes. The auto-editing feature intelligently picks out the most viral-sounding parts and gives you content that is essentially ready to post, though you always maintain the ability to jump in and tweak any clip for a slightly different final punchline. The auto-schedule function is the specific feature that has truly changed my content consistency game for the better. Setting a consistent posting cadence is admittedly boring work, but it is absolutely necessary if you want to see real channel growth. Before adopting Vizard, I would often manually export and queue posts, or worse, completely forget about posting certain clips for weeks on end. With Vizard's auto-schedule, you simply set your desired frequency, and the system publishes the content automatically according to your established rules. Do you want one short video posted every other day and your main long-form upload every single week? Consider it done. You still have the flexibility to quickly hop in and manually adjust a specific clip if something in the news or world suddenly becomes topical and needs immediate promotion. This kind of regularity is precisely what keeps a channel consistently growing, because the various algorithms strongly favor predictable content flows. Then we have the content calendar, which brings everything together into one view. Instead of having scattered drafts across multiple apps and a messy Google Sheet tracking things, Vizard provides you with one central hub to preview, reorder, and edit all your upcoming content. From this dashboard, you can easily drag and drop to reschedule posts, add final captions, or pin a specific clip for a manual review before it goes live. This is the level of streamlined organization that creators dream about when managing multiple distinct content series, like travel vlogs, astrophotography, tutorials, and behind-the-scenes looks. Being able to manage every moving piece from a single, coherent place makes your entire content campaign feel incredibly professional without needing to hire a full-time editor. Now, to be completely fair, there are plenty of other automated tools available, with some being cheap or free, and others built directly into bigger creative suites. Adobe's tools attempt to do everything, but they often force you into their entire ecosystem, and their auto-cutting features can be very hit or miss unless you upgrade to their premium cloud services. Other standalone applications tend to either focus only on restrictive templated edits, or they nickel and dime you by charging per export or applying watermarks until you pay for the top tier. I personally tested about a half dozen of these platforms, and most of them either expect you to manually babysit every single automated edit, or they produce clips that feel undeniably robotic and generic. Vizard manages to land right in that perfect sweet spot. It is smart enough to reliably find the best moments, yet flexible enough that you can still easily apply that necessary humanizing final touch. Crucially, because we handle all the demanding, high-quality color grading in Resolve first, the files coming into Vizard already look beautifully cinematic. This means the AI isn't wasting its efforts trying to rescue a noisy, ungraded source file. Instead, it's working with material that you are already proud to present. The final outcome is vertical social videos that look exactly like miniature, high-quality versions of your main upload, which is absolutely crucial for maintaining strong brand cohesion across all platforms. Here is a pro tip for next-level results. Export a couple of slightly different graded master files based on focal point. Perhaps one more contrasty for dramatic B-roll, and one a touch softer for your direct-to-camera talking heads. You then feed both of those versions into Vizard, and allow its intelligence to pick which pre-graded master best suits the visual context of each automatically generated clip. Doing this ensures you get much better visual matches across your short-form content and significantly reduces the need for any manual regrading later on. At the end of the day, successful post-production comes down to two core pillars: making the footage look and feel absolutely right, and then consistently getting that finished product in front of your audience. Resolve handles that crucial first pillar beautifully through precise color space transforms, subtle HDR wheel nudges, careful curve adjustments, and that sensible noise reduction balance we discussed. And Vizard handles the second pillar by efficiently transforming your single long video into dozens of platform-ready short posts and scheduling them out automatically for you. It truly acts as the essential gravity that keeps all your content consistently orbiting your core channel. Before you click away, a quick reminder that I actually printed a small limited run of Milky Way 2025 calendars featuring some of the best shots from these very nights. Honestly, there are only about a dozen of these left in stock, so check the link in the description immediately if you want to snag one. They make a genuinely cool way to hang a little piece of that awesome night sky energy in your room all year long. More importantly for your workflow, if you are a creator who shoots long-form travel or photography vlogs and wants to achieve real growth without burning out, I highly recommend pairing a proper grading tool like Resolve with a smart repackaging tool like Vizard. Focus your creative energy on the craft stuff where it truly matters, and then automate everything else in the pipeline. If you truly dug this entire walkthrough, from the initial filming tips to the color grade and the Vizard content recycling hack, please hit that like button right now. Then, drop a comment below with any questions you have, like what noise settings you prefer or which social platform you prioritize most. And finally, make sure you subscribe if you want to see more behind-the-scenes breakdowns on how to make and effectively promote ambitious Astro content. I promise to keep testing new methods and sharing every shortcut I find, so you can spend less time grinding away and more time actually shooting beautiful content under the stars. I will see all of you again in the next video. For now, peace out!